If you've been watching Drive Time for any length of time, then you're well aware that I think Ian Callum is a design genius. He hands down pens the most beautiful cars in the world, and Jaguar is the beneficiary. Here's the next generation of Jag's XKR Grand Tourer, all new for 2010, and taking the evolutionary approach to design change. After all, why tinker with the XK's striking shape? So visually, the differences in this car are subtle to say the least. The most noticeable points are in the chromed air ducts in the front valance and the revised tail lamp design. But to the casual observer, the '09 car looks just like this XKR. The big news surrounding this generation XKR is the brawny, all-new 5-liter motor with a near-silent Roots-type supercharger nestled in the V8, advancing the XKR's already impressive power to new levels of awesomeness. 510 horsepower and 481 pound-feet of torque await the driver, rocketing this aluminum-bodied beauty to 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds and through the quarter mile in 12.9. That scrubs about 0.3 of a second from last year's car. The top speed is still electronically limited to 155 miles per hour. Having driven the outgoing model just a couple of months ago, this XKR exhibits an even greater sense of hurriedness that's palpable from the driver's seat. While the performance stats are worthy of praise, the XKR feels even faster than those numbers. In typical Jaguar Grand Touring fashion, the power bursts are executed with immediacy and refinement, but not isolation. The classic Jaguar sounds, further tuned this year, still invite themselves into the cabin at appropriate levels. And there's an inherent driver confidence here that allows for spirited driving with peace of mind. The massive 20-inch tires and wide stance keep the XKR's track true, while the new electronic rear differential fine-tunes power distribution for better handling. You can feel it working when launching the XKR from a standstill by providing improved traction. Another new trick, adaptive dynamics, replaces the previous CAT system by providing continuously variable damping for the shocks with a dedicated dynamic mode for all-out performance. That setting also brings the transmission and ECU into the mix for much livelier driving. This car seems to take its performance side more seriously than before. Speaking of the transmission, the old J-gate shifter has been replaced by the rotary shifter from the XF sedan. It's a 6-speed unit specific to the R model with a sport mode and paddle shifters. The pop-up show is a gimmick I quite like. Gas mileage is rated at 15 mpg city and 22 highway. The remainder of the interior remains familiar, too much so when it comes to this laggy touchscreen interface, which feels like yesterday's technology and could use some redundant buttons for more common controls. That aside, you'd be crazy not to feel proud with XKR ownership. Stunningly beautiful, lustily powerful, and relaxed in its operation, it could be the most rewarding $100,000 you've ever spent. For Drive Time on Yahoo Autos, I'm Steve Hammes.